Hey guys, it's Cheryl here. I am doing my contour, blush, and highlight video today. It was highly requested. If you're interested in seeing how I get my contour and blush and highlight, then stay tuned and watch this video. I will show you the techniques that I use to achieve my typical contour, blush, and highlight. And I talk about all the brushes and products that are my go-to as well. Anything you need to know about those three topics will be in this video. If you have any more questions, please leave them below and I'll be happy to answer them. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using MAC Pure Sculpture Pro Sculpting Cream, and this is one of my new favorite products to contour with. And I'm using a Sigma Angled Top Kabuki, the F84, just to draw a line down the hollow of my cheek from my top of my ear to the corner of my mouth. But don't connect them. You don't need to draw it all the way down to the corner of your mouth. Just stop about 2/3 of the way down and just keep layering more product on top until you get the desired depth that you want. Now moving on to my temples, I bring the product up along my temples to contour the sides of my face. After contouring my temples, I like to bring the product up along the top of my forehead. This minimizes the appearance of a larger forehead. Always remember that anywhere you place your contour, you're minimizing the appearance of that feature. So if you have a small forehead, then I would suggest skipping this step. After completing the one side of my face, I'm moving on to the next and just repeating the steps that I did on the other side. So I'm placing the product in the hollow of my cheek and bringing it down from the top of my ear to the corner of my mouth, and gradually adding more product to achieve the desired contour effect. Once I have both sides done, I go back and forth just to even out the contour until I feel that both sides are even. And I make sure to blend this product right into my hairline to achieve the naturally defined look that I am going for. For those who want a stronger jawline or to minimize the appearance of a double chin, you can contour that area. I don't necessarily do this every time I contour, but for the sake of this video, I am showing you. Typically, I apply my makeup fairly close to a mirror, but I always like to take a step back and just make sure that everything looks good from a distance as well. Right now, I'm just making sure that the product is even and blended and everything looks natural. Now that my contour is complete, I am taking my MAC 116 blush brush and applying NARS Lovejoy to the apples of my cheeks and sweeping it backwards along where I applied my contour. If you just apply blush to the apples of your cheeks, it gives a more youthful appearance. However, I feel it is more flattering on my face shape to sweep the product back along the side of my cheek as well where I applied my contour. It helps to smile to find the apples of your cheeks. For that naturally defined effect we are looking for, I like to take a clean blending brush and buff the product together on my cheeks. I like to stay above where I contoured because you want to keep the hollow of your cheek defined yet have everything blended together. You also don't want the entire side of your face to just be one big dark mess. For a highlight, I'm using one of my favorite MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes and a Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35 brush. And this is by Candlelight, and I'm just brushing it along my cheekbones and along the side of my temple. I'm making a C-like motion around my eye. Now repeat this step on the other side of the face. I always like to start off with a little bit of product and just gradually add more as I see fit. For more detailed work, I like using a Sigma medium angled shading brush, and this is their E70, and apply highlight along the bridge of my nose and my Cupid's bow. Now for my favorite products and brushes. Lately, I've been loving using cream products to contour with, and I find they look a lot more natural if you can find the right shade. The product that I've been really loving right now is the MAC Pro Sculpting Cream in Pure Sculpture, and it looks like this. And they have, I think, 6 shade selection, but it's actually a pretty terrible shade selection. Not everyone's going to be able to find their color, which is unfortunate, because if you can find your right shade, these are a wonderful product. I have a full review of them on my blog, but definitely loving this product to contour with. For a cream product, I use the Sigma Angle Top Kabuki, the F84. These are their Sigmax brushes, and I do have the flat top and the round top as well. And I use those for my foundation, but the angled one I love using for cream contour colors, and it's just really good at getting in the hollows of the cheek and blending out the product. You can also use a matte like sculpting powder. MAC also has the powder versions of the creams, different names, better color selection. So if you can't find a cream product, they do have contour powders that are made for contouring. But you can also use blushes or bronzers, and preferably matte ones. They just look better when you're contouring. You don't really want to add shimmer or glitter to the hollows of your cheek. You're trying to create depth and dimension, and a matte shade is going to give you the look that you're wanting. I also use the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. This is really dark, so when I'm more of a, I can use it now, but when I'm more of an NC40 coloring, I typically grab this, and I love using my MAC 109 brush. I used to hate this brush because back when this brush was popular, people were using it for foundation, and I bought it to use for foundation, and it's really not that good. And then the Sigma HD Sigmax brushes came out, so I really like those, but this is really good for contouring with, and it's actually what the 109 is for. I just roll it around in the product and do the exact same thing I do for my cream contour. I just put it in the hollows of my cheeks, bring it up my temple, my forehead, and if you want, you can contour your jawline as well. Also, I'll use a powder to contour my nose if I feel so inclined. On a day-to-day basis, I don't typically contour my nose, but say if I'm doing a lot of photos or just a different kind of look, I'm trying to recreate a look and I need my nose to look a bit more streamlined, I am going to just contour my nose. And a brush I like to use for that, as well as I use this for highlighting, is actually an eyeshadow brush, and it's the Sigma Medium Angled Shading E70. And I'll just take a little bit of product and take the angle and bring it down my nose on each side and shade the bottom just to contour my nose. So this works really well if you want to contour your nose, or if you want to highlight just like specific areas of your face. I do use a brush and just use the tip, but if you want to be more precise, you can grab an eyeshadow brush and they work really well. Also, another standard brush for contouring is an angled contouring brush, and these I don't typically grab for all that much anymore. I used to use them all the time, but I just find the brush to be a bit larger than what I need, and I really like the 109 brush by MAC because it's much smaller and you can really work in that area, as opposed to this brush, which is more fluffy and you're gonna get the product a lot more places. So if you want precision, definitely go for a smaller brush. Sigma also has a really nice brush that you can use. I use this mainly for highlighting, but you can use this for contour, blush, and highlight. So if you're looking for a versatile brush, definitely check out the Sigma Tapered Highlighter. It's the F35, and it looks like this, and it's small enough to be a highlight or a blush, and it's angled and can work into the contours of your face really nicely. So if you just need to invest in one brush and want to use it for multiple purposes, then definitely check out this brush. I highly recommend it. I do use some blushes for contouring as well, and MAC Emote blush, which is discontinued, but it's really good blush for those with fair skin or when I'm a bit lighter than I am now. And comparable shade to Emote is actually MAC Wedge eyeshadow, so you can use that as well to contour with. You don't just necessarily have to use it for your eye, but I use that eyeshadow like crazy to contour my eyes. So Emote blush works really well for contouring my face. And also I use Harmony blush, which is right there, to also contour with, also by MAC. So those are the various products that I do use, but typically if I'm going to reach for a product, it is going to be a cream contour color, which I've been grabbing lately, or my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, which I was using practically all summer. For blush, I have an array of blushes, but for this video I'm going to be using NARS Lovejoy. And in terms of blush brush, you can use that tapered highlighter brush by Sigma that I've already mentioned, or I like using the MAC 116, which is their blush brush, and it's small and compact and can just work really well with the product. Sigma also has a brush as well, but it's a bit more fluffy and bigger than my MAC brush. Excuse, they're both dirty because I've used them, but you can tell that it is bigger, and I just like smaller brushes for precision application. Don't get me wrong, this does do the job, but when I'm going to reach for a brush, I'm going to reach for my MAC 116. As far as highlighters, I have a few favorites. I love MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes, and I'm going to be using By Candlelight for this video. And close color to By Candlelight is Soft and Gentle, which is also by MAC, and that is permanent. This one was limited edition, but they're pretty close in color. Or I will use their Magically Cool Liquid Powder in Honey Rose. This is one of my favorite products. So it is like high shimmer sheen, like when you put this on your cheek, you're gonna glow. Next product I like for highlighting is the Extra Dimension Skin Finishes. And these were new and limited edition, but they're going to be re-released in the MAC Glamour Days Holiday Collection, and I believe that's coming out early November, 4th or 5th, but don't quote me on that. So if you didn't have a chance to pick these up last time, definitely check them out. Superb Extra Dimension Skin Finishes, actually my favorite highlight ever. This one is Whisper Guild, and it looks like this. And the product is so amazing. I'm going to swatch this for you as well. It's not at all like shimmery particles like the Magically Cool Powder and Honey Rose. It's really just a beautiful sheen to the skin. And there we go. It's right there. And it just gives such a beautiful sheen without all the glitter. In terms of the brushes that I use for highlighting products, I like to use that tapered brush by Sigma, or I will use one of these dual fiber powder blush brushes. It's really hard to say blush brush together. I will use these. This is the Sigma, dirty because I used it, and the MAC. I don't find much difference in these. This one, my Sigma one, has fanned out a bit more, but I also have used it more. So they're both pretty comparable. I would recommend both. I like them because the dual fiber, they pick up less product. So say you are using the Magically Cool liquid powder, you're going to want to use a brush like this because you don't want to get like a ton of this product because it's highly pigmented and it's going to go on your face really strong if you have a really dense brush. So definitely get a dual fiber for a powder like this, and these work generally really well for any kind of highlighter. Mineralized Skin Finish, the Extra Dimension, they just pick up enough product that I want for highlighting, so basically the perfect brush in my opinion for highlighting. That's pretty much it. I know that was a lot of just me rambling about products, but those are definitely my favorite brushes and products to use for contour, blush, and highlight. I also like to blend in my blush and contour before I apply my highlight. That's something that I do a lot. And I'll just take a clean brush, or say you applied too much product, you can put some of your powder on the brush and then you can just work it into your blush and contour, and it will just lighten up the product that you did put on your face and just make it look more wearable. You can do that if you've applied too much, but I just like to take a clean one and buff in my blush and contour just so that it looks a bit more seamless. I try and stay away from the bottom edge of my contour so that it actually looks like a defined line almost, not quite, but you just don't want to blend that product down your face, else you're gonna have like just a dark cheek. Like, you don't want your entire side of your face to look dark. You want to keep it into the hollow of your cheek and up. That's basically it on how I contour, blush, and highlight my face. So if you have any more requests or comments, please leave them below and I'd be happy to take them. And please comment, rate, subscribe as always, and I will see you guys in my next video. So take care.